Somebody tell me what I've done wrong.
I know it's a hospital, but matron doesn't like blood all over the place. You should be in casualty, not surgery.
Right. Casualty, you say?
Yeah. Accidents and emergencies are seen in casualty by whoever's available. What's happened anyway?
They've been fighting.
This time of the morning?
Exactly what I said.
Oh, watch where they're dripping. A matron will be after you. Take them through.
Come on, you pair. Use your hankies.
Is he in yet? I had another dizzy spell this morning.
Take a seat, Mrs. Lyons. Surgery doesn't start for 5 minutes.
It's related to the chest pains I've been having here and here.
Quick, where's Dr. Wetherill?
What's the problem?
What do you think, girl? Look at her. She's going into labour.
There is a queue here.
My wife is having a baby.
And I'm having pulmonary hypertension.
Dr. Wetherill's out on a call. You'd best go through to maternity.
Where is maternity?
Well, actually, you better wait here. I'll get someone.
Oh, come over here. Sit down.
Morning.
Morning.
That looks good. Assume it was a full wash and set you stayed in for.
I just didn't feel like meeting for a drink last night, that's all.
Meryl, the other weekend was great. At least I thought so. Look, if I've done something wrong, please say.
Your lights are up.
Who's my first one? Oh, she will be. What ailment is it today, I wonder?
No dogs in here, please. You know that.
He doesn't like being left in the car.
Then time to a railing. This is a doctor's surgery, not a vet's. There's blood here.
Yeah, I sent them through to casualty.
Then get it cleared up.
Ah, Dr. Cheriton, would you have a look at Mrs. Cooper there? Dr. Wetherill's not in yet.
Of course. Hello, I'm Dr. Cheriton. What seems to be the problem?
Oh, I don't believe
Isn't it obvious? My wife's 9 months pregnant and going into labour.
Better come with me, then.
Ooh. Nice drop of tea, that, Alan.
Thanks, Ken.
Doesn't the tea break usually come after you've done some work?
Anything we can do for you, Mr. Harper?
Yes, you can take those off the walls.
Oh, they're only a bit of fun.
You're in a hospital, not the factory floor. I want them down, please.
While you're here, Mr. Harper, we've got some faulty wiring in the building. Lights keep blowing, and I thought with Mr. Middleditch being away, I wondered whether or not you could authorise me to get an electrician in.
Some relative of yours, no doubt.
Not necessarily, but it does need doing.
I'll decide that. If it does, the job will be put out to competitive tender in the proper manner.
So the baby's coming, is it, Doctor?
Not immediately, but you're right to bring your wife in. Sorry, Jill. I used your surgery as Mrs. Cooper is one of yours.
Yes, of course. Hello, Jane.
Hello, Doctor.
Can I have a word?
Yeah, sure.
You can stop fussing now, Bill. Dr. Wetherill knows what she's doing.
That little chap don't think I am fussing. Should have brought you in last night, like I said.
Well, if we'd have done everything you'd have said, they'd have put me in an isolation hospital from the moment they knew I was pregnant.
Yeah, fair enough. Are you all right? Shall I call them back?
No, it's just labour pains. It's natural.
She seems unduly anxious.
Well, an elderly primate, first baby at 37, can be quite problematic.
Well, my beans.
They've both been so anxious throughout the whole pregnancy. David, your lights are up.
Well, blood pressure's fine, and your heart muscles are in excellent shape.
Well, I felt a definite twinge, and then I nearly fainted.
Pulmonary hypertension, you say? If I didn't know better, I'd say you were looking up symptoms in a medical dictionary.
Well, I didn't imagine the pain.
Well, if you smoke 30 cigarettes a day, you're bound to feel a bit chesty, aren't you? But there's nothing I can do about that, is there? All I can say, Mrs. Lyons, is stop smoking.
Easier said than done.
Can you tell Lizzie to send in the next patient, please? Door.
Well, I agree with him for once. A man your age shouldn't be ogling girly photos.
They won't mind, will they? They were Alan's. Anyway, it's typical Harper. He's power mad. Just wants to dictate everything.
You were in here this morning, clocking everything I did. Gives me shivers.
Oh, creeps up on you like a nasty little toad.
The other day, he asked Sister Bridget if you'd help me get the job and if I was properly qualified.
No, did he?
I took a message for him earlier. The District Health Authority saying he could have the meeting he'd requested this evening.
He's requested a meeting? What's he up to?
Well, your nose isn't broken, Harry, and the bleeding's almost stopped. This is Peter Williams. He's got a nasty head wound.
How exactly did it happen?
They won't say. They worked together on a farm in Ilkeston. The farmer's wife called us because they were fighting and brawling in the yard. It looked like a hell of a scrap. Churns were overturned, milk was everywhere, and a Land Rover windscreen was smashed.
How did this happen, Peter?
Oh, it don't matter. Excuse me, we're not asking just to be nosy. It's important. Was the cut caused by a blow to your head? Were you hit with something?
No. No, I wasn't.
OK. The nurse will put some stitches in shortly. Before I go back to surgery, I'd like to know what's going on.
Well, this isn't the time to discuss it.
So there is something there?
If a patient needs stitching.
Everything's fine. We're getting on great. Then for no reason at all that I can think of, you become... I don't know.
I think I'm pregnant, David.
Three days isn't long. Maybe you're tired. Been working too hard.
I know my own body. I'm practically never late.
But we've always been so careful.
Not quite always. Remember?
Nurse Taylor?
Yes, matron. I'm doing it now.
Second time this week that light's gone. Hopkirk must be getting foreign bulbs on a cheap or something.
No, it's like he says. This wiring needs seeing to.
Can't you give us something more for the pain?
Well, we have to be very careful at this stage. She seems particularly nervous. Is there any reason for that?
We met a few years ago. We were both surprised when we hit it off. We didn't think about having kids. We were just happy being together.
I see.
Then we decided to try for a baby, complete the family. It was a late decision.
Which became a bit of an obsession, did it?
My fault. When she didn't get pregnant, maybe I let my disappointment show too much.
Right. And when she did fall pregnant, it all became too important.
If something was to go wrong, it'd be Jane I'd want you to put first.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure it won't come to that. OK?
Oh.
I've seen you and Harry in the local pubs drinking together, haven't I?
Just stitch me head, please. Then we can go.
Come on, Harry. I gather you pair were maids. What's the matter?
That's between me and him.
Right, all done. That was a nasty cut.
Sorry, what did you say?
I've finished stitching. You can go now.
What are you talking about?
Peter, are you OK?
What's happening? What am I doing here?
Sit down, please. I'm just going to shine a light in your eyes.
Grumbling appendix and a troublesome bunion. I sometimes wonder whether it's worth my time doing a list here. You mind? Leaves time for an early lunch and 18 holes. Can't remember, do you play? Well, you should. Golf's a great way of getting away from women. Wives can't nag you when you're out on the links. Not that you have that problem, yet.
It's very important, Harry. Was he struck on the head?
Come on, Harry, the nurse needs to know.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, he was.
What with? I hit him with a shovel. But he started it.
Never mind who started it. Was he unconscious at all?
He went down. He might have been out for a few seconds. But he's all right, though, isn't he?
Have you finished in here, nurse? Mr. Rose has arrived for theatre.
This young man's had a blow to the head. He's very drowsy. I've just checked his eyes. His pupils are unequal.
Stay with him. I'll get one of the doctors to have a look.
How soon after medical school did you get settled down then? And get married?
Left it as long as possible. Played the field. Good old days. Waited till I was firmly established. Once you've a mem-sab and brats in tow, life's not your own.
Excuse me, Mr. Rose. I need to borrow Dr. Cheriton.
Not for long. Keen to get on, matron. Keen to get on.
Staff Nurse Taylor needs a doctor in casualty.
Get yourself.
Maternity bed's prepared.
Thank you. Take over, would you, sister?
You're not leaving us, surely?
Just need a quick word with one of my colleagues. You're in good hands, Jane. Midwife will look after you.
I need a word when I've got a minute.
Doctor.
Looks like a brain hemorrhage. I'd say he's bleeding from the middle meningeal artery.
The problem is, the blood rapidly raises the intracranial pressure.
Shall I call an ambulance? Get him into Ashford.
No, it's dangerous to move him. What he needs is burr holes through his skull to relieve the pressure and stop the bleeding. Otherwise, he's a goner.
Can't you do it?
You need a neurosurgeon. Call Sewell at Ashfordley. He'll come over.
Hey, you did extremely well to pick up on that. He'd be in real trouble if he hadn't.
Thanks. Look, I'm sorry,
Hey,
Vicky.
don't worry. We'll talk later. Get Peter ready for theatre. I'll arrange the anaesthetics. We've only got an hour or two at most.
Putting the kids to bed last night, they asked me how you were. I felt terrible because I'd forgotten to mention you. But there are only so many ways you can say that. Mum is no different. She's still sleeping. They did these for you. It's a dinosaur and the sun. Very good. What happened between us? I really am sorry. Sorry is such a banal word to describe such a mix of emotions. I've never been very good at expressing my feelings. Sorry. I know that you were unhappy for a very long time. Me, the kids, we just never seemed to be enough for you. Is that why you packed your bags and left us? Without a word?
Dr. Almorad. Your lights are up.
A report? What about? Well, he obviously didn't want me to see it, but from up ladder and upside down, I'm sure I read your name on it.
You read my name?
He saw me looking, put it in his filing cabinet and locked it away.
A patient to come through from casualty, Alan. An emergency.
Right.
Midwife agrees. The baby is lying in an awkward position, and if that head doesn't engage, she will need a Caesar.
And you want me on anaesthetics?
Well, I'd value your opinion as well. The parents are incredibly worried it's their first baby, and as you know, elderly prims can be quite problematic, so...
Yes, well, not as problematic as elderly women who read about pulmonary hypertension in medical dictionaries. Come on.
Please explain to Mr. Sewell what I told you. He'll need his burr hole cutting drill.
It's okay, Peter. We'll be taking you through very soon.
Okay. You're doing fine, Jane. Thank you.
You going to operate, Doctor?
No, not at this stage, Mr. Cooper.
I'd say the head was passing through the pelvic inlet.
Yes, seems to have engaged now.
Well, it's too late for a Caesar.
Just let nature take its course for now. You look tired, Gordon.
Sorry, I'm frankly, tired, yes.
Doesn't having Adri help with the children help a little bit?
Au pairs aren't much use in the middle of the night caring for young children crying for their mummy.
Well, I don't want to say or do anything to make it worse. But you do know, don't you?
Thanks, John.
One of your patients phoned in, wants to see you urgently, Dr. Amrod.
Uh-huh. Good.
Mrs. Lyons. She got home, had another of her funny turns.
Yes, well, there's nothing remotely funny about that woman.
Oh, she asked for a home visit, put the phone down, said she felt too faint to talk anymore.
Oh, if only.
That idiot woman on the switchboard at Ashfordley's just phoned back.
And?
She said she'd forgotten that Mr. Sewell's at a conference in Leeds today. There's no neurosurgeon within miles.
Mr. Rose?
Yes?
Sewell's away. We have to operate ourselves.
Have you ever observed burr holes, Cheriton?
Once a guide. Have you ever performed one?
You need a dentist's handpiece and a drill.
I think we have one in store.
We have to drill 2 or 3 holes through the skull to release the blood. I shall be within fractions of an inch of delicate brain tissue, the slightest misjudgment, and he's dead. The highest levels of professionalism are demanded from all involved.
He'll be dead in less than an hour if it isn't done.
Quicker than that if we get it wrong.
He won't die, will he?
I'm not a doctor, I don't know.
God. It'd be my fault. Would they do me for murder, do you think?
Well, if Peter dies, you'll certainly face serious charges, yes. Just pray it doesn't happen.
Bang goes my afternoon on the golf course.
I just hope they can find that drill.
It's got to be in here somewhere.
Can't we just get one sent over from Ashfordley in a taxi?
Oh, it's too late.
Hang on a minute, Ken. What's this?
Not what the doctor ordered.
There, I can see it. Get it thoroughly sterilised and get it to Mr. Rose as soon as possible.
Right.
Oh, no, not again. It's that wiring in the old fuse box. It's never been redone.
Then I suggest you show me out and deal with it later, Ken. Any calls for Dr. Cheriton or Mr. Rose? Just take messages, Lizzie. Emergencies put through to me.
We should get him through, Mr. Rose.
Yes, go on. Did you say you'd observed one of these being carried out at Guy's? Good. May need the odd powwow along the way.
What, Charlie?
I thought you were too weak to get up, Mrs. Lyons.
I'm a bit better now, but I had another of those dizzy spells. My vision went quite strange.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm not coming in unless you lock that crazed mutt of yours away.
He's a purebred pedigree, as well you know, Doctor.
Hook-shaped incision. Swab. Clip. And skin hooks. I shall now retract the anterior and posterior skin flaps. Aha. Note the boggy temporalis muscle within the right place.
Can you stop him barking, please?
That's what dogs do, Doctor. Bark.
How many fingers can you see?
1. He only barks at people he doesn't take to.
How many now?
2.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Hello? Yes, I suppose so. It's for you.
Thank you.
The ambulance phoned. They've been called to an incident. Chap's trapped under a dinghy in Elsinby water. He may need on-the-spot resuscitation.
Yeah. South side of the lake, you said? Yep. Yes, I'm on my way. Right, I've got an emergency, so just take a couple of aspirins and see if it settles down. If you could just get me past your dog safely.
The middle laryngeal artery must be ruptured somewhere here. I shall make the first hole here to relieve the pressure.
Is that the diameter you used last time?
Don't recall exactly. Only done it once. That was in Korea.
Stupid. The whole thing was stupid.
Was it over a girl or something like that?
Why, what's been said?
Oh, nothing. Look, I've been round long enough to know that good mates fall out. It's usually over women or money.
I was mad about her. He knew that. When I told him that she'd gone off me, he sympathised. And last night, I went past her house, and he was in there with her, snogging. I didn't sleep. So I had it out with him this morning, and he laughed at me. There was a bit of pushing and shoving, but he hit me first. And then it all went off. He threw a churn at me, and I picked up a shovel and... I never meant to kill him. I just want him to be all right, you know? Please, God, don't let him die. Please don't let him die.
We're doing all they can.
He's still with us?
Mm-hmm.
There.
Maybe try 1/4 inch left and down.
Matron said we've to get someone in to rewire right away.
I wonder why Matron had become a qualified electrician. I'll have a look. We'll need people around and at least 3 written quotes before proceeding.
Well, that'll take forever.
Can't see the artery bleeding.
Too close to the artery could rupture it completely.
There's compromise.
I suppose one of your cousins put this fuse box in.
Was here long before my time.
Still, there doesn't seem...
I hope I remember how to do this.
What are you doing?
Baby, do you understand me now? Sometimes I feel a little mad. But don't you know that no one alive can always be an angel? When things go wrong, I seem to be bad. But I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. carefree with a joy that's hard to hide. And sometimes it seems that all I have to do is worry, and then you're bound to see my other side.
Damn a blast, Lizzie.
I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood.
His heart's racing a bit. Not surprising, really.
Not my heart, my shoulder. I think he's broken my collarbone, the idiot.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks very much, Ken, for saving me life.
Ken's right, you know, Mr. Harper. You've got a lot to thank him for.
Indeed. How do you feel this? Right, well, we better get you into X-ray. Matron, could you sort that out for me? I'm needed back in maternity.
Yes, I'll tell the radiographer.
Oh?
The radiographer.
Oh, yes.
Can you manage your own way to casualty, Mr. Harper, or would you like a wheelchair?
Oh, no, don't worry about that, Matron. I'll sorry, Miss Harper.
Thank you. I'm through the skull, removing the burr drill. Blood should now flow out, releasing the intracranial tension. And there she blows.
Well done. Well done.
Well, we're not out of the woods yet. We have to tie this artery off next. Clip.
What's keeping them?
We're short of staff. We need more resources here.
Efficiency, that's the problem. Time and motion. Matron could have done this herself.
Matron's got the whole hospital to run. She can't waste time on routine X-rays. I'm going to have to leave you to it, I'm afraid, because according to your new roster, I'm on my lunch break.
How is he?
Not good.
OK, continue with the cardiac massage. I'm going to try and ventilate his lungs with an endotracheal intubation. Can you get some oxygen?
Surely you must know what's going on.
Next of kin are always told first. His parents have been phoned. They should be on the way.
What do you mean, next to kin? Why? Well, is he dead? Is he? Oh, God, I've killed him, haven't I? I've killed Peter. His mum and dad will hate me. Everybody will hate me. What have I done?
He's still in theatre. They're still operating. That's all I can tell you.
How long was he in the water? Not sure. It's been half an hour since we pulled him out.
Well, you can be lucky with drowning. His heart might still be functioning. Pupils fixed and dilated.
There's nothing more we could have done.
Might have. If I'd got here sooner with the equipment. Connect the oxygen, will you?
Dr. Omerod, that German girl phoned up was in a bit of a state.
What German girl?
The one that looks after your kids.
No. Her name's Adri. She's Dutch. What about her?
Says she's missed her bus and can't pick the children up after school.
Where was she calling from?
It was a phone box, I think.
No, I don't mean... But you are totally useless, Lizzie.
Sorry?
Look at today. You gave me the wrong directions. I wasted half an hour. The result was a man may have died unnecessarily. Don't you realise that in cases like this, every minute counts?
Oh, no.
Mr. Harper for X-ray.
At last. I've been waiting an hour.
We've had emergency brain surgery in the theatre and there's a difficult birth underway in maternity. A sore shoulder's fairly low on the list. This way. Jacket off, please.
Take care of this, will you?
blame yourself.
I can't. It's all my fault. I'm totally useless. I can't work here anymore.
What are you doing in here, Anne?
I believe bulb's gone again. Oh. Well, that's another one that doesn't need doing.
Mr. Harper's waiting for his X-ray results. He was asking for his jacket.
Right.
Suppose it's been a bit of a shock for you. Nurses of all people aren't supposed to get themselves into these messes.
It needn't be a mess, Mel. I want you to know I'll stand by you. I'll fully accept responsibility.
Responsibility? You make it sound like some crime's been committed.
I didn't mean it like that.
I don't want you doing anything out of some sense of duty. This is a baby we're talking about, not some hire purchase agreement. A pregnancy affects both our futures.
I'm aware of that. I'm trying to explain I feel every bit as involved in this as you do.
I don't want you to just heroically stand by me. I want complete honesty. So think things through properly before we talk again.
Trouble is, he hasn't forgiven you for that Mallorca stunt you pulled.
It was his own fault. Anyway, he can't be reporting me for that, so what's he up to?
Well, you know sometimes when things needed to be mended quickly and you put in some phony quotes for the job.
Alan, if I had to wait for 3 different plumbers to quote each time we had a burst pipe, we'd have had to close the hospital. He knows that.
Yeah, but Harper's found the quotes. They're in his file, along with a list of names of all your relatives who've actually done work here.
So he's going to take that to the authority, and I'm going to get the bullet for taking the mickey. The fact is, I saved this place thousands. The favours I get from folk round here. Or why didn't you just take the file when you had the chance?
Sister Bridget turned up. Listen, why don't you talk to him? Explain why you did it. He may listen. You have just saved his life.
How is she, do you know?
We're nearly there, Mr. Cooper.
Nothing's broken, I'm glad to say. Just heavy bruising.
Well, I'm sorry about that. My only thought was to save you.
Indeed, and I'm grateful. It does seem that the prompt action you took probably saved me from electrocution.
Well, anybody would have done it.
Thanks all the same.
Look, I know you and I have had our differences. And I'm aware that the correct procedure is to get in 3 different quotes. And to be honest, I have, on occasion, sometimes, cut corners just to speed things up a bit. But the hospital has always benefited and got good workmanship at a reasonable price. I don't think the authority always appreciate just how hard it is to get workmen in rural areas like these.
I view any breach of procedure as a serious matter. Falsification of quotes and dishing out jobs to friends and relations are serious matters. The authority has a right to be informed. I intend to do that.
OK, Jane, good girl. There's fetal distress. The heart rate's down to just over 60. I think the baby may be strangled by the cord.
And I noticed what looked like traces of meconium in the birth canal.
Right, we need to get the baby out as soon as possible. Get her ready, would you?
If I'd known it was going to be like this, I never would have let...
We may need to use forceps. And she will need stitches afterwards. The baby may be at some risk, I'm afraid.
I told you I wanted to put Jane first. Can you not just carry out a caesarean?
Not at this stage. No, it's too late for that.
If the school phones, tell them I'm on my way, please.
Of course. Can I have a word? This is the chap who phoned me about the drowning incident.
We'd been given the wrong directions too, Doctor. I passed them on to Lizzie. It wasn't her fault. I didn't think to tell you at the time.
I see. Then I owe you an apology. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But there's someone here to see you, I'm afraid. Say she's seeing strange floating curtains in front of her eyes now.
Look, I'm late. If the silly woman can't see, tell her to get a white stick.
I'll make a complaint about this. What did he say about a white stick?
I think he said he had a patient who was very sick. I'll get someone else to see you, Mrs. Lyons.
You said you wanted complete honesty. Well, the honest truth is, it hasn't totally sunk in. You need to think things through. There's a lot to be considered for both of us.
Like?
Well, for a start, is this the right moment in our lives, in our careers, to be having...
Your career, you mean? Has it even occurred to you, David, that having a baby might not suit me and my career either?
Of course it has. That's what I was saying.
I've an irate patient in reception who's likely to sue us if she doesn't see a doctor immediately.
Yes, matron.
OK, the baby's head's crowning. The cord's definitely around the baby's neck. We need to get him out now. Keep pushing, Jane. You're nearly there, Jane.
You're blowing through both eyes now?
It's like thick knit curtains.
Mrs. Lyons, I'm going to send you to our eye specialist at Ashford.
When will that be? I have to get someone to look after Charlie.
I'm sending you now. We'll contact a neighbour about your dog. Excuse us a minute, will you? Matron? I want the ambulance to take her in immediately.
What's wrong?
Severe bilateral retinal detachment. I'll contact James at Ashford. He'll need to operate at once.
Shouldn't it have been picked up earlier?
Probably.
That's it. Well done, Jane. Well done, Jane. Well done.
Clamps. Suck up James Airways.
I want to see the baby! I want to see the baby! Please! Please! What's wrong with my baby? I want to see the baby.
All right, Jane.
What's...
Stethoscope. No heartbeat. Oxygen.
What's happening, please?
All right, Jane, one moment.
The artery is tied off and the hemorrhage is controlled. All indications are there's no brain damage.
It's all right, Peter. You're in hospital. Look who's here to see you.
Mum. Dad. Good. Good. You can have 5 minutes. Don't tire him.
I'll call back for you.
He's extremely lucky. The prognosis is good. He'll be in for some time, though.
Thank God. Thank God. So what happens now? To me, I mean?
Well, Peter might decide to press charges for assault, or he may think he's lucky to be alive and leave it at that.
Can I go and say sorry to him and his mum and dad?
I just hope that you've both learned a big lesson from this business. Off you go.
my baby. Why me?
Jane, it's okay. It's okay. It's nobody's fault.
He's right, Jane. Look, should we take him for a while and then we can give him a wash and then maybe you can say your goodbyes properly, can't you? Come on, Jane.
Just a child. Let somebody send down to the earth to live on the wind.
Panic over.
What?
I was just late for once, that's all.
So you're not?
You're mightily relieved.
Not entirely.
Oh?
Believe it or not, I was beginning to warm to the prospect of being a dad.
Well, I feel like I've won the football pools. Fancy a celebratory drink later?
Actually, I won't. I've a few things to catch up on.
Oh. Suit yourself.
So thin and graceful, the sun shines through. This little bird who lives on the wind. This little bird that somebody sent.
Well, that's the kids sorted out. What next, I wonder? Mrs. Lyon's back with her 5th funny turn of the day.
Well, actually, Gordon, Dr. Cherison informs me that a patient of yours nearly lost her sight today because you wouldn't take her seriously.
What?
And you reduced Lizzie to floods of tears without checking the facts. Look, Gordon, I know that you've got problems, but I really think that you need to sort yourself out.
That somebody sent. He flies so high up in the sky. I'll reach of you tonight. And the only time that he touches the ground is when that
I've known it happen before.
He's dead. It was no one's fault, you know.
is when that little bird died.
I apologise to Lizzie. Mrs. Lyons is a tricky patient, but you're right. I failed her.
Well, it could have been worse. Ashford Lee have saved her sight, so she'll be fine. Gordon, I'm sorry. It's been a bit of a lousy day all round, really. The baby was stillborn. The poor parents are absolutely devastated.
Oh, God, no.
Sister Bridget, they're waiting.
Yes, staff nurse.
Thank you, Lord. If I listen long enough to you, I'd find a way to believe that it's all true.
Too late now, he's got to meet him. How stupid. I should have burnt the blooming thing. I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
Still I look to find reason to believe.
An old trick.
Someone like you.
Come here.
Someone like you makes it easy to give.
I had the back removed just in case we ever needed access. He's never even noticed.
You've got the evidence from his file. What's he got in there now, then?
I'd find a way to leave.
Mr. Harper, when you're ready. Mr. Harper!
Still I look to find reason to believe.
It's extraordinary.
I can hardly believe it.
Sister, we can't thank you enough for this.
It's not me. It's hot and cold water you have to thank. I've heard of it before. No one knows why it happens.
Five years in medical school, 2 years as a houseman, and all you need to do is dip the baby in water.
Well, apparently it's an old Irish midwife's tale, but it's pretty humbling all the same.
Well, not quite as humbling as missing 2 detached retinas in one patient.
Gordon, you are a first-rate doctor, you know you are. You're a good father and you're a decent man. It was just that, well, differing demands on you came into conflict today, that's all.
Maybe. You know, I'm never happier than when I'm just quietly with you. It helps.
Well, things move on, don't they? Things do change, and so... who knows? One day.
One day. Who knows?
Why don't we organise the hospital ball? It'll be fun.
They'll be sorted out by this evening.
Call the upbeats to sort of play on words.
Can they sort of play their instruments?
Good morning. I'm Mr. Rose, and you are lucky enough to have me as your surgeon.
I was asking Dr. Ormerod about whether you'll avert the vagus nerves.
Mr. Lake has been reading up on his condition.
Oh, dear.